training the kids to know when they need help sounds simple, but it takes time. And I think, making it clear, like if you're stuck, if you're not doing anything, and you have been not doing something for a long time, then it's time to look for help.
It's like when we were getting them reason to build swings and slide in a playhouse for little kids, and when they're done doing that, do we pay back, like pay money for them or something?
Well, the city pays for those things, but they get their money from the taxes that people pay.
Oh.
So when your parents work, part of the money that they get goes to taxes for the city. And then that's how the city pays for things. So it's a good question, though, because the city needs to decide. I mean, the people who work for the city need to decide, is that somewhere that they want to spend money? And so this is good because you're saying to them, hey, this is what I want you to do. This is how I want you to spend your money. It's important to me.
Because I put a playhouse for the little kids because when they come, like, after school, every time they come to the big park, some kids get hurt by sliding down that big slide. Something they get hurt.
It's kind of rough. Yeah. And that tire swing is a nightmare. You see Carlos's ear? Yeah. I mean, and sometimes it's good to put, don't use Carlos's name, but say, a student just got hurt. Did you use that as a reason? Was one of your reasons that they're not safe, what we have right now?
I don't know. I'm gonna write it on my letters. It's not kind of safe with the slide.
And it's really persuasive. It's a really good reason when you say, someone just got hurt. We have proof, That'll help them agree with you. Okay, thanks. I put a lot of value on conversations. That is a fundamental component, I think, of a really good writing classroom. That you talk with kids, you talk with groups of kids, teachers do, and kids talk to each other and give each other feedback, and it just generates so much energy.
When I conference with kids, I'm looking at different things. I'm trying to get them to elaborate more. I'm trying to have them develop their stories, and not only that, but I want to hear their voice. And a lot of times I'll have them stop and sometimes act it out, walk or lift or, pick up, whatever action they're doing, so that they can understand that you just don't wake up and go eat breakfast. Several things happen in between. This is where brainstorming is important. This is where you have to sit and you have to allow for ideas to flow. And, you can teach children to think. All children can be creative. You just have to teach them how to brainstorm.
Good teachers can speak to children writer to writer. You just confer so differently if you've tried to do this before yourself, because it's not easy. And I like it when teachers carry their notebooks with them when they're conferring and talk out of them. And that's really how children get to know you a lot as a writer, is because of that writer to writer talk you have in conferences.
Something that paints a picture in your mind. I think it's real meaningful for the students when I can share my own writing with them. And in a one-on-one conference time, if I can bring my actual piece to the conference and walk through what I did and what I was thinking when I did it, I think the students are more likely to try it because they say, well, my teacher did it, I think I can do it too. Okay, Donna, I remember yesterday or the day before, let's see, we talked about a story you were writing. Is this the story? Mm-hmm. And you said that you might try to make it into a poem later. Isn't that what you said? Okay. And I'm going to just show you. Remember, I started with a story, right? And then I started picking out some words that I thought might be able to be words in a poem. So if we were to look at your story, what do you think? Are there any words that you would definitely have to have in your poem? Well, let's think. Who's the story about? And so these are two people in the story, right? So we know that they might be some people in the poem, right? Okay. So we might want to circle that. Let's just circle that for later on, just because that's going to probably be someone you want in your poem, right? You can just circle it once when you find the name. Very good. Now, what is it about them? What did they do? Is it a she and a he? And this is she, and that's he. Now, are they people? Okay. Cousins?
Friends.
Friends, okay. All right, and what do they do?
Maria plays lots of games all the time. And she couldn't play kickball. She got help from players.
Oh, so games was an important thing, right? Don't you think that's something you might want to put a circle around that? Because it's something about games, right? Okay. So I think that might be a key word in your poem. What else? What feeling is happening? 'Cause it's like there's a feeling in here, isn't it? What feeling?
That she said she can't play kickball.
So that looks like another key word, doesn't it? So do you want to circle that word? Because I think there's some sadness in there, isn't it? And what game was it? You said it was?
Kickball.
So you might want to circle that one too. So these two people were in this game, and the game was kickball, and she was sad. And then what made her sad?
That she couldn't play kickball.
Oh, so look at this whole phrase right here. That might be something that might be important. What do you think? Do you think you want to add that to the poem? I can't play. So maybe we might want to put a circle around that. That might be something we might want to look at later. And it may not be that. Maybe it's something else. What else do you see?
She said she was little.
Oh, that's important too, isn't it? So you might want to put a circle around that too. Okay. What else?
No.
You don't know what else? Let's see. And this continues on to this page? Oh, where'd the yeses come from? Because I like that. That almost seems like a poem, doesn't it? What's going on with that?
He taught her how to play in the backyard, and then he said he just kick it in the goal, and then he said see, and then she said yes.
Oh, I think that'd be real good in the poem, don't you? So maybe you have to have something about her being able to kick the ball, and then you can go into the yes, because I think that'd be perfect in a poem. And you could probably write it some kind of fancy way, but I think that'd be real good. Let's see what else we got.
And she could play every game, and then Larry said he could play Halloween game.
Oh, so now they're gonna, is it Mira? Mira's good. Maria's good in games. Now she can play a new game, the Halloween game. Very good. So you might want to say something about that. Is that all the words we think we need to pull out? Or do we need some more? You want some more? Okay. Well, you got to say something here to get to the yes. That's what we're saying. We're going to pick out, what did you say you're going to pick out here? Something you said here.
Just kick the ball into the goal.
Okay, there you go. I think that might be good. always add when you don't want these yeses. I know you want those because you're real excited about those yeses. You know how I can tell? How can I tell?
Because they had X. I forget the name.
Yeah, you got it. Exclamation marks. So I knew you were excited about those, and I knew you wanted those in the poem because those are something that really stand out. So now let's see what we can do. Is there anything down here you think you need in your poem? So it's just more stuff in the story that you might not need. Well, what we can do is write all these words so you can see them all together. Might want to write them here so you can see them. And I see you wrote this word here because you were going to start thinking about it. Yeah, I can tell. You had a page all ready to start trying to put it in a poem. So what I want you to do is these words that you kind of circled that you might want to look at for the poem, put them all right here. And then start putting it together to make a poem. Can you do that? Mm-hmm. Sounds like a good, try it. I like it. And I'll check back with you and see how it's coming. Well, a lot of times students are a little cold at the initial part of the conference, at the beginning. First of all, they're not feeling comfortable. Why is the teacher sitting next to me, and what is she going to talk about? And sometimes the student thinks I might judge what they have, so they're getting nervous, thinking I'm getting a grade or something of that nature. But then once I start asking questions about the real work that's in front of us, then they buy into it. Oh, she's just here to talk about what I have. And I can talk about this because it's my stuff. And I think she got comfortable. Oh, it's just my thinking. She's just helping me think through it. And so she got comfortable in sharing and talking because I'm just thinking out loud.
One of the favorite comments I got from a former student was we were now well into the school year, and I asked them to sort of look at their own writing, and this one girl said, "Oh, I get it. I'm supposed to look at this and hear in my head your voice, the questions that you would ask." And that's right, because ultimately we're trying to get them to be more independent, and that independence is fostered by our conferring with them, our letting them hear the kinds of questions that a reader has in encountering a piece.